Welcome, everyone, to the very first episode of the Fantasmagoria Literary Society. We are so thrilled to have you here, joining us on this magical journey into the worlds of fantasy literature.
Yes, welcome back, guys. We've missed you so much. If you're new here, this is the podcast where we celebrate the stories that have captured our hearts, sparked imaginations, and taken over our TikTok feeds. Whether you're a longtime fan of epic quests or just dipping your toes into fantasy for the first time, you found your new bookish home. So what exactly is the Fantasmagoria Literary Society? Think of it as your cozy, candlelit corner in the universe where fantasy, chaos, and camaraderie all collide. This isn't your average book club. We're here to feel things deeply, analyze the layers of magic and mayhem, and occasionally scream into the void when a character rips our hearts out.
But it's more than that. Fantasmagoria is about celebrating fantasy in all its gritty, magical, and heart-wrenching glory. We're here to unearth the hidden meanings, the foreshadowing you may have missed, the symbolism woven into every page, and maybe spiral into a few wild theories along the way.
We welcome all the plot obsessors, the character defenders, the lore detectives, and the hopeless romantics. Here, every tangent is valid, every hot take is welcome, and no emotional breakdown is too dramatic.
We'll be reading through each series book by book, exploring the characters, themes, and twists that make them so unforgettable. And we're starting with a true powerhouse, Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas.
We'll be reading the series in chronological order, which means we're starting with The Assassin's Blade. This collection of novellas sets the stage for everything to come and introduces us to Celaena Sardathian, one of the most compelling heroines in fantasy.
And depending on how our audience feels, we'll also consider doing the tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. We know it's a hot topic, and we're definitely open to feedback on that.
And to kick things off, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Chriselle. Throne of Glass, the series, was my very first reintroduction into the fantasy genre. Was I aware that I'd turn into the meme of the guy with the corkboard when I finished this series and the rest of SJM's books? No, I was not. Did I know that I would never cry reading a book ever again after Kingdom of Ash? Also no, but if you know, you know. This series got me back into reading. I followed it promptly with A Court of Thorns and Roses and Crescent City, also by Sarah J. Maas. And the amount of spicy fae books I've read since then has been overwhelming, to say the least. And you know how we all have a comfort character? The one that got us through the toughest points in life? Mine is the female main character from Throne of Glass. She got me through a lot, and I'm really excited to be rereading and emotionally damaging myself again. I want to feel something. And this series makes me feel a lot. Between the world building and character development, this series is perfect in my opinion. I can't wait to start this again, especially with my favorite people. So strap on in.
I'm Kayliana. So here's the deal with me. I've read the first 5 Throne of Glass books not once, but twice. 2 times. That's 2 whole tours through the heartbreak, the betrayals, the oh-so-satisfying slow burns. But Queen of Shadows? That book is where my journey has always just paused. You know that moment when you're standing on the edge of a cliff and you're just not ready to jump? That's me with Queen of Shadows. The tensions, the stakes, it's all just too good and too much at the same time. But this year, it's different. This is my redemption arc era, and I'm ready to face the assassins, the witches, and whatever plot twist Sarah J. Maas decides to stab me with next. I want to experience every twist with you, analyze the magic out of these stories, and maybe, just maybe, finally break my Queen of Shadows curse. And hey, if you're here for the drama, the deep dives, and the chaos that comes with dissecting a beloved series, you are officially part of the Fantasmagoria family.
And I'm Nellie. My perspective going into this podcast, I used to be a huge bookworm. I was the kid who always had their nose in a book. But after high school, I somehow fell out of the habit of reading. Honestly, if it weren't for Kayliana and Chriselle basically threatening my life if I didn't read A Court of Thorns and Roses, I might have never rediscovered my love for books. Even during the years I wasn't reading, though, fantasy cinema, television, and video games were my absolute lifelines. Now that I'm back into the world of reading, I couldn't be more excited to dive into the Throne of Glass series and experience the legend that is Celaena Sardathian. Together, we're the Fantasmagoria Literary Society, and we're so excited to share this adventure with all of you.
Now let's talk about how the podcast episodes will work. Each week, we'll let you know which chapters to read before the next episode. During the episode, we'll discuss favorite characters, top moments, and even share some fun things like assigning astrology signs to characters. At the end of each episode, we'll give you the next reading assignment so you can stay ahead.
We're incredibly grateful for the positive response we've already received since announcing this podcast. Your enthusiasm fuels us, and we can't wait to build this amazing community with you.
To kick things off, we want you to read to the end of Chapter 10 of The Assassin's Blade by January 1st. That gives us all time to dive into Selena's story and really sink our teeth into the rich world Sarah J. Maas has created. So whether you're rereading with us, experiencing these stories for the first time, or just in it for the bookish banter, you're in the right place. We're not just here to read, we're here to feel seen, challenged, and forever changed by our favorite stories together.
And don't forget to share the podcast with your fellow fantasy lovers. Let's grow this community and bring even more people into the Fantasmagoria family. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram for updates, fun content, and maybe a meme or two.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and we are so excited to start this journey with you. Until next time, happy reading.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye. See you soon.
Sucker.